Our founders' vision of a republic is under threat from actions from the White House.
By the way, it doesn't really feel like we're being impeached, do you?
The people of America see through this.
Article 1 charges the President of the United States with abusing the power of his office.
The second article of impeachment, obstruction of Congress.
People of America understand due process, and they understand when it is being trampled in the people's house.
The House Intelligence and Judiciary Committees are done holding hearings. And as soon as the Rules Committee settles on terms of debate, 2 articles of impeachment are headed to the House floor. President Donald Trump is set to become the 3rd president in American history to be impeached.
On the day of and the hours of debate, so come in at 9, 10 o'clock, vote on the rule, 6 hours of debate, equally divided perhaps.
Is that a Wednesday night rally?
Correct. That says impeachment victory tour.
First vote, Article 1, 15 minutes. Second vote, 15 minutes. On the House side, how many impeachment managers is this? There's no limit.
There's no guidance. Historically, they always go to the Judiciary Committee because that's the one that's handled it. I think everybody expects Schiff to be, the lead. Would the final thing then be the Senate passing the probes bill?
And then some sort of UC or some sort of resolution on when the impeachment trial actually starts. Oh, and probably judges before they expire. Yeah.
With both sides acknowledging President Trump's impeachment seems inevitable, Senate leaders are starting to discuss what a trial might look like.
This is a political process. There's not anything judicial about it. Impeachment is a political decision. The House made a partisan political decision to impeach. I'm not impartial about this at all.
That's the weekly Tuesday press conferences. Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer come out with their leadership teams. Right here, it's called the Ohio Clock Corridor because that right behind me is a clock. It is not from Ohio. It is actually from my hometown of Philadelphia, but it's called the Ohio Clock. Don't ask the question, I don't have the answer. But they come here every Tuesday and they lay out the weekly agenda.
It's clear that Senator McConnell wants to use the Senate to help participate in a cover-up. We have not heard a single argument from Leader McConnell as to why the witnesses we have requested should not come forward.
Right now, they're on track for what would be a very partisan beginning to the trial.
The Rules Committee will come to order. A resolution impeaching Donald John Trump, President of the United States, for high crimes and misdemeanors.
The House Rules Committee holds the last hearing before the impeachment articles go to the House floor.
We've listened to the hearings. We've read the transcripts.
This committee sets the rules of floor debate, but first they have a debate of their own, echoing the arguments set forth in the Intelligence and Judiciary Committees.
It's clear that this president acted in a way that not only violates the public trust, he jeopardized our national security.
But at the end of the day, it's simply last-minute Christmas shopping. They ran and found something and said, we can do it.
Personally, I believe the articles themselves are unwarranted.
The Rules Committee ultimately votes in favor of holding 6 hours of debate on Wednesday, setting up a House floor vote that night.
All those in favor will say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. No. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it and the motion is agreed to.
We look forward to getting on to the Senate. We're not entitled to lawyers. We're not entitled to witnesses. We're not entitled to anything in the House. It's a total sham.
President Trump, meeting with the president of Guatemala at the White House, hits out at the impeachment charges.
Unless they do something about this, other presidents are going to have to live with this. And every time they do something that's a little bit unpopular, a little bit strong, even if they're 100% right.
And soon afterwards, sends a letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi protesting the whole process.
President Trump released a fiery letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
He says, quote, "You have cheapened the importance of the very ugly word impeachment.
You are violating your oaths of office.
You are offending Americans of faith by continually saying, I pray for the president, when you know this statement is not true.
You are breaking your allegiance to the Constitution, and you are declaring open war on American democracy."
He claims that the was more due process in the Salem witch trials. All this underneath White House letterhead.
The upcoming House votes have galvanized people in various cities to march in favor of impeachment.
Of the justice that he deserves. We find Trump guilty, guilty, guilty.
Including in Detroit.
This is what democracy looks like.
Just 2 hours away from Battle Creek, Michigan, where President Trump will hold a rally at about the same time the House is voting on whether to impeach him.
This is not about that guy that's in office, but it's about protecting our democracy. Because we do not have a king. He is not above the law, and that needs to be addressed.
Donald Trump has got you.
After weeks of intense partisan rancor, it all comes down to today, a vote on the floor of the United States House on whether to impeach President Donald Trump. Trump would only be the third president in American history to be impeached.
Washington is waking up for a key day of impeachment debate and the final vote on the House floor. Meanwhile, more demonstrators have gathered outside the Capitol.
All right, here we go. It's Wednesday, December 18th. It is impeachment day, just exactly 1 week before Christmas. At 9 o'clock, the chamber's going to open up, and right away, you're going to see procedural fights. Republicans are going to start offering motions to adjourn.
I move that the House do now adjourn.
Privileged resolution.
A privileged resolution.
They're going to do some protest motions.
I raise a point of order against HRS 767.
Opposed, say no.
Once they approve the debate, then you're going to have 6 hours of real back and forth debate about whether or not Trump should be the third president ever to be impeached.
When the president's wrongdoing was revealed, he launched an unprecedented, indiscriminate, and categorical campaign of defiance and obstruction.
But this notion, they're talking about holding him for months and continuing investigations and potentially adding new articles and all this stuff.
Never before in the history of our nation have we seen a president declare and act if he is above the law.
The fight isn't over. I think that's what I put at the end. Impeachment might be done, but the fight against Trump isn't over.
Will we let impeachment become an exercise of raw political power, regardless if it damages our country?
This is an outrage. I yield back.
Gentleman from New York.
I am deeply concerned that any member of the House would spout Russian propaganda on the floor of the House.
The gentleman from New York is recognized for... The House will come to order. The gentleman from New York is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you.
The House will come to order. The House will come to order. The gentleman from...
Louie Gohmert. Yeah. Nadler tried at him and he tried to defend himself, but they cut off his mic, and so he just yelled at Nadler.
Everything so far is proceeding pretty ridiculously close to plan. Votes on the articles of impeachment early this evening.
Only the president has that power to corrupt our foreign policy for political gain. And the moment he chose to do so, the moment he undermined our security in a scheme to undermine our democracy, whether he succeeded or not, and thank God he did not.
Start before the rally, sort of what was going on. No, the media, look, I know, it's hard for somebody to know if you're not the subject, because how do you know the New York Times is totally dishonest, or the Washington Post, or ABC is so bad? CNN and MSNBC, their ratings are down the tubes. It's great. I love it.
President Trump takes the stage in Battle Creek just 4 minutes before the first impeachment vote begins.
They think the Washington swamp should be able to veto the results of an election. That's what they do.
The question now occurs on the adoption of Article 1.
It's perversion.
All in favor, say aye.
We did nothing wrong. They don't even have any crime.
Opposed, no.
This is the first impeachment where there's no crime.
The yeas are 230, the nays are 197, present is 1. Article 1 is adopted.
So we had 198, 229, 198. We didn't lose one Republican vote. And 3 Democrats voted for us, Haley. Haley! I say, tell me what I did, please. Well, we don't know. You violated the Constitution. Democrat lawmakers do not believe you have the right to select your own president.
Article 2 is adopted.
Crazy Nancy Pelosi's House Democrats have branded themselves with an eternal mark of shame, and it really is. It's a disgrace. Yesterday, I sent Pelosi a letter denouncing and condemning her party's outrageous abuse of power. That's what it is. They have nothing. They're the ones that should be impeached, every one of them.